professional start to the ECA at the T20 commentary. And it's fair to say that in the commentary box now, Blair, the classic hard luck stories
Absolutely.
of the ECA Grand Final is in any Grand Final. There is always those men that were just on the cusp and unfortunately missed out on this occasion.
To be honest, I thought we were stiff, you know, with our records.
Yeah, look, it's fair to say our records speak for themselves. Well, you know, you probably did yourself a little bit of a disservice in last year's semi, getting smoked over the scoreboard here at Donvale Reserve.
I think by the outgoing batsman as well.
It was indeed Robbie Lamont, a very dangerous player in the T20 format, and you know, a good pick up for Glen Irish. We have, by the looks of here, a former Richmond footballer.
That's correct.
About to take the place in Greg Stafford.
So where do your allegiances lie today? As a premiership player at Glen Irish, now a Dunstan spinner, as you've been telling me today.
Look, at the end of the day, you go where the money is, you go where the big bucks are. And, you know, some of the people in the ECA just rate the bad talent.
You're the Gary Ablett of the ECA. You just got the offer that was too good to refuse.
Yeah, I would compare my defection to that of LeBron James, actually. So those late wickets late on a day 2 game. But he's also made some runs. He is, as I'm sure you can attest, a class unit, young Rob.
Yes, he made a 80-ball century against us last year in Dunstan Shield. Yeah, batted very well.
Yeah, look, you know, I can see he's got his TNF there. He does love his TNF back. It's fair to say that he doesn't perhaps have the great relationship with his sponsors as perhaps, you know, the Ashburton boys. Big fan of the Bassett. Obviously, you know, contributed by the one and only the Don Swift. But you know, he loves his TNF, and he's been, you know, an absolute revelation part of the team in Tim Tiger Murphy, who's made a return to short form cricket and been quite successful with his little skitters, you know, swinging it both ways, as he'll no doubt attest to, and been a really good bowler in the short form this year. Yeah. Apart from that, obviously you've got Rob and Ollie out there, stalwarts of the Dunstan side throughout the season, and essentially, yeah, very much a side that represents certainly sides that have been on the park for the Willows this season.
Well, myself and Richard. Ashburton just moved the score along nicely now through a period of 5 to 10 overs. Now looking at around 3 for 57 off their 10. So still wickets in hand, but need to be careful the next 5 overs. They don't want to lose too many wickets and dig themselves a hole.
Well, that's exactly right. And look, that's a big. I think that's a big wicket. Sort of gone a bit understated here for Glen Irish, because those boys are starting to get in. And if Coops and Ollie had started to crease so much longer and then giving themselves that opportunity in the last 5, 6 overs to be going 10 over, then you know, you're almost looking at putting the game out of reach. So that's a big wicket, and understandably the Glen Irish boys are up and about. So.
Well, that was Skelton there who got the wicket, so he'll be pretty happy after dropping what some would consider a relatively easy catch earlier on in around about the 5th over of the innings. So he's done well for himself. Petrol levies and obviously everything else really increased the further you head away out of the CBD. But sometimes it's nice to get out in the bush though, isn't it, Richard?
That's right, absolutely. We've got some gums around. I heard the song of a currawong before, which you don't normally get in.
No, you wouldn't get it in the city. No, all you'd get is probably the sound of the local TAB and the pokies, and maybe the club secretary breaking a few pot glasses at local RSL.
Yeah, that's right. Do many of the Glen Irish lads head up to the Ashburton TAB?
Maybe not the Ashburton TAB, but the East Malvern RSL definitely gets quite a few Glen Irish players coming through. A notable mention to Paul Lowry, the club secretary, who does not mind spending a pay packet down there. And I'm being assured that he's kept quite a few barmen in their jobs over the years. Yes. And I think Friday nights, quite a few of the older generation of the club head down there to get away from the family and kids and really sink a few 7-ounce ponies, I suppose, and get away from it all.
Now, just for the AFL lovers out here, we've got Greg Stafford, who's of Richmond fame. I think was he in Sydney before Richmond? But how's Staff's year been?
Staff, he's done really well. He's just an old workhorse.
AFL days, still a big unit, that big chest.
No, he hasn't. I'll tell you what, he was on the beers last night. He doesn't look like he's lost any of his drinking ability either. It was putting him down like they were water. At one point he was standing on top of the bar calling it Dodge Champagne, the old Carlton draft. But obviously he's in the right headspace at 8, putting the ball on the spot.